Welcome back to the third rendition of Sips and Situationships. Guess what, folks? I actually have a sip this time for your situationships. I made myself a nice uh, Moscow Mule. For those of you who don't know, a Moscow Mule is simply 2 ounces of vodka, which is just over a shot. A shot is 1.5 ounces. So it's 2 ounces of vodka, 1 ounce of lime juice, and then add some ice and fill it with ginger beer. It's very easy, very simple, very delicious drink. This one is rather strong. I'm going to be having two of them because I only had one ginger beer left and I didn't want to waste it, and my roommate didn't want one. Without further ado, folks, I just want to say thank you so much for the love that you guys have been sending me for the podcast. I read all of the comments. I do. I don't know why I don't react to them. I'm probably going to start doing that. I apologize. If you guys, I love when you guys send like timestamps of what your favorite moments are because I do go back and watch them. Also, I'm going to be looking over here quite a bit because I moved my monitor over to this way. Another thing somebody said was change the lighting up because they can't really see all that well. So I did turn the brightness up. One thing about me, I did get a ring light, and let me show you something pretty cool. For those of you that are on the video, you're only going to be able to see this on the video. I can change the light to white or yellow. So, or I guess soft and like fluorescent. So let me know if you guys like this. This is the white, and this is the yellow. Both of them are literally blazing into my eyes and I can't see anything regardless. So I'm literally going blind for you guys. I'm doing this for the love of the game, and I promise, please be honest, okay? Please tell me which one's better because I'm doing it for you. All right? If it were up to me, this podcast equipment would have gone in the garbage long ago. No, I'm just kidding. I do love doing this. I do love the podcast. You guys have been very nice to me in the comments. You guys have been very like forward about things you don't like, things that you do like, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Like I said, this is going to be another Sips and Situationships episode, which for those of you who are new, about once or twice a month, I do this thing called Sips and Situationships where you guys send in your bad dating stories, dating advice, stuff like that. Also, I want to add to this list because I've noticed nobody's been doing it. Send in breakup advice. If you're going through a bad breakup, you don't know how to get out of it, let's talk about it. You can send all of this to happierpod@gmail.com. Let me make sure I got that right. It doesn't say. happierpod@gmail.com. Please send in your submissions to there. In the subject line, say bad dating story or a tag about the bad dating story, or say dating advice or breakup advice, something like that. And then let's talk about it. I'm going to be burping a lot because it's ginger beer. It's very bubbly. Real quick before I dive into Sips and Situationships, I would like to go over a quick recap of my weekend. It was one of my best friends' birthdays on Saturday. We went to a bar called Barcelona Wine Bar. For those of you who know my history with wine, it catches up to me. It catches up to me, folks. Um, I went 2 weeks without drinking, which is a very long time. I know that it was a long time because I was like, wow, I've been two weeks without a drink, and my body felt weird. And then on Saturday, I was like, all right, I'm going to try not to go hard, and then I blacked out. So also, I do have the mic turned up extra high today because, again, people are like, I still can't hear you. So let me know if this is blowing out your eardrums. I apologize. I love when you guys give me notes, all right? The production, I am the production, so give me your production notes on what I can be doing better. Um, it was, I blacked out in the sense that I told somebody I loved them on accident. It quite literally on accident. I was on a FaceTime and I was like, it was one of those moments, and it was quite embarrassing. And also, I did post on my Instagram story that a text message I sent somebody that said, I need you. So clearly, not my worst day, but also not my best day. So without further ado, coming from a train wreck of an individual when it comes to dating, let's get right into it. I would also like to clarify that the person I said I need you to and the person I said I love you to are the same person. All right? I'm not hopping around. Let's get into it. We'll start off first with some advice. All right, dating advice. Here we go. How do I get this one guy's attention and ask him to give me a chance because I think we would actually hit it off? The biggest problem I see though is that he lives in Philadelphia and I live across the country. Okay, so here's the thing, folks. I don't read these ahead of time, and I'm quickly realizing that this is about me. And the last line of this email is, "It's you, Grayson, in case you didn't catch it." That much is made aware to me now. I will tackle the first part of this. He lives in Philadelphia, and I live across the country in Arizona. He's also an influencer. I wouldn't call myself an influencer. I would call myself an entertainer, a jester for the masses. No, I'm just kidding. I would not call myself an influencer because I don't influence. What do I influence? I create content. I would call myself a content creator. But I wouldn't say that I particularly feel like I influence y'all in any way. And if I do influence you, I hope it's not in a negative way. Typically, I feel like the way I present myself online is probably in a negative way. So I apologize for that. All right. I have generalized anxiety. Hey, me too. I have tummy problems. Hey, me too. Also, my Instagram to public if you want to stalk a little bit. That's crazy. That's funny. Am I a little tipsy? Always. Hey, me too. Me too. All right. So I'll tackle the first part, and I won't make this about myself because I am narcissistic, but not that narcissistic. Plus, the best way to get my attention is to not say weird things in my DMs. That's like the weirdest. Like, I posted a thing today on my Instagram. What kind of content would you guys like to see on my Instagram? Which, by the way, feel free to leave a comment. A lot of it was like day in my life, and then a lot of it was also like OnlyFans, take your clothes off, show us your body, stuff like that. Don't say that. I don't. That doesn't make me. That doesn't make me feel comfortable. I had a TikTok comment the other day that said, until I memorize the veins. Guys, come on. What? Who are you propping up on pedestals? You're propping up this guy on a pedestal. Pick and choose your battles, guys. This is nothing to go to war over. I promise you that. I promise you that. Anyways, how to get somebody's attention. This is an excellent way of getting somebody's attention. I think it's a lot easier if it's out in person. It's a lot easier to suss out a vibe. And I've kind of talked on this on a previous Sips and Situationship as well. The best way to get somebody's attention is first see if they're interested in you by literally staring at them. Not in a creepy way, just like, keep making eye contact, keep looking at them. And if they are returning eye contact in a playful way, that's when you've got to go in for the kill and get their attention. You got to do something big. What I do, and this is going to sound stupid, but what I've done in the past, I should say. Sorry, I have a metal straw. Go environment. I'm an environmental engineer. I try not to use plastic. And unfortunately, paper straws are disgusting. I hate them so much. Eventually, they turn into a saliva circa McDonald's milkshake if you leave it out in the sun too much. Literally, a McDonald's milkshake turns into horse semen. I don't know if there's like a better way to compare it. It's like it turns into a gross congealed liquid that has the viscosity of cooling lava. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And you know what? I just compared it to a paper straw because that's actually what a paper straw turns into as well. Congealed, warmed, room temperature McDonald's milkshake. Rest in peace to the snack wrap. Hey, we're getting warmed up, folks. We are getting warmed up. So the best way to get the best way to get somebody's attention, something I've done in the past, is once you have established eye contact and you know there's some sort of physical attraction there, you can tell. You can tell when you look at somebody and they look at you back if there is like, give them a little smile. Give them a little smile. If they smile back, great. If they don't, hey, you might look like a creep and a weirdo. But that's okay. That's the risk you have to take if you want to get somebody's attention. If you know they're interested in you and you can see it, you can feel it in your bones. You can feel it in your bones. Walk past them. Find an excuse to walk past them. And this is going to sound stupid. Walk past them. As you're walking past them, maybe give them a little, like, getting by. Oh, excuse me, a little tap on the shoulder, just so they know that you're there. Call this the Bill Clinton. If you guys have seen, the Joe Biden. Call this the Joe Biden, because if you've seen New Girl, you know what I'm talking about. You just have to be there. You have to be there. Not in a creepy way. In the episode, they present it in a creepy way, but I do think it's a good idea. Let them know you're there. by physically just a little tap. Nothing weird, nothing uncomfortable. Don't abuse their space. Don't harass them or anything like that. Just like a simple, oh, I'm getting by it. You don't even have to tap them. Oh, I'm getting by it. Give them a closer eye contact. Find a reason to walk over. Because what you want to do is you want to close the space. If you see somebody across the room that you like, you got to close the space. Otherwise, you're going to go home empty-handed. Otherwise, you're going to go home without a number. Otherwise, you're going to go home. Swear to God, if you ask somebody for their Snapchat, stop watching. You don't belong here. No, we're leaving Snapchat in 2022 when I was in college. All right, Snapchat is no longer a thing. I have a Snapchat. I'm not going to tell you guys what my name is. It's not my name on there. I promise you that much. I have it so I can watch my niece and my nephew grow up from across the country. That's the sole purpose why I have it. I have like 4 family members and that's it. And they send, one of my sisters sends me videos and pictures of my niece and my nephew. My other sister sends me videos of her and her dog, Charlie. Also, I feel like I can officially announce this now. Both of my sisters are pregnant at the same time. I get to be an uncle times 4. Let's go. I get to be the drunkle, another reason to drink, times 4, which is exciting. I'm so excited for both of my sisters. If you guys are listening to this, I love you. So proud of you guys. So excited. I get to be an uncle times 4. So anyways, congealed liquid, the milkshake from McDonald's. Do you get what I'm saying? Horse semen. That's still in the back of my head. To the point, though, of getting somebody's attention, you have to close the gap. Otherwise, there's just going to be this weird, uncomfortable space. You guys are just going to be playing eye tag all night. That's not good enough. You got to close the gap. Got to close the gap. I'm going to move that into the... I have it all separated out in the prompts that I've done, the prompts that I haven't done, advice, horror stories. We'll do a couple more advices. Hey, Grayson, how you doing? I am doing... I don't know what to do because every time someone tells me that they're interested in me, like 3 times, I think to myself, why me? See, you're talking to the right guy because it sounds like what you have is imposter syndrome. Why would someone choose me when there's better people out there? It's like I feel that I'm never going to have the type of love that I dream of. I feel like a spectator and that I'm spending my time just dreaming of love stories that will never happen to me. By the way, big fan of the pod. Oh, I love you so much. I love spending 1 hour hearing you. Well, I hope the hour that you spend with me is a happier hour. God, I love that. It sounds to me like you have imposter syndrome. It sounds to me like you think you're unlovable, and so when somebody does, for some reason, find that they have feelings towards you, it confuses you because you think of all the things that you find as an issue in yourself, and you're like, wait a minute, they like me, but they like me despite all these weird things that I do, or these weird issues that I have, or these things that come up that I don't know how to deal with. And you have to get to the point where you tell yourself, instead of saying, why me? Or you think to yourself, like, there's better people out there. There's not. You're the best. You have to think like, I am deserving of this love that they are planning on giving to me or trying to give to me. You have to get to the point where you will accept the love. And we've talked about this on the Sips and Situationships in the past. You have to accept that you are capable of being loved. It's not just that you are able to love, because it sounds like you dream of, these situations where you are, putting forth this love into somebody else, but then for some reason you can't accept when somebody wants to do that to you. You have to get to the headspace where you think and you realize and you understand that you are the best. You are somebody's love story. You like thinking about all these love stories that'll never happen to you. You have to understand that you are deserving of that. You are exactly what somebody else is looking for, and you have to be open to that idea. It's something you're going to have to work at. It's something that I work at all the time. I think about it all the time. I think, well, I have all these skeletons in my closet. I've done bad things to people. I haven't been a good guy before, and that's correct. It's right. I've done bad things to people. It's my history. It's something that I live with every day. It's the burdens that I carry on my shoulders, but you have to understand that, like, people will listen to that. They'll accept you for who you are, and they will love you despite exactly everything that you've done in your past. If it is a terrible past, and you have to be open to that, and that's something you have to work at. So that's my advice on that one. Dating advice. Here we go. Ooh, pictures of the cat. Let's go. I've never kissed anyone, never dated anyone, never done anything with a guy. As a guy, give me your perspective on this if you were starting to date someone in this scenario. By Cat Diego. Nice. Good question. So here's the thing. As somebody that has been intimate with people before, singular at a time, never plural, if that makes sense. Um, it is strange. I mean, I'm 25. I understand that. Like I said, I've dated somebody with a kid. I have people in my life that have been divorced already that I went to high school with. Um, it's certainly a weird field to navigate when um, somebody isn't as like seasoned in the dating game. It's certainly a weird thing that you like. For me personally, my perspective on it is like I don't want to be anybody's first anything because I want them to have it with somebody special. And going back to the dating advice I just gave, I don't feel like I'm special and I'm worth being somebody's first. That's my perspective. Now, not everybody feels that way. There is a lot of like weird guys out there that like love the I've never done anything like that. I just think that's weird. They fetishize it in a way that it's disgusting to me. Um, but that being said, I don't think there's anything wrong if you haven't done things with people. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a personal choice that you've made, and I think that's great. And I don't think it's a bad thing, and I don't think it's something you should feel nervous about. I didn't have my first kiss until I was like, I mean, I had a first kiss in like middle school, but I don't really count that. I didn't know what I was doing. There was no feelings behind it. Um, I had my first actual kiss when I was like 17, maybe. I didn't do more intimate things, if you get what I mean by that. I didn't do more intimate things till I was well into college. I was 20 um, when, the big one happened. So it's like, there's no problem with waiting. You just have to find the right person. And I would say this on my life, the best advice I can give you is please make sure they're special. Because there's nothing worse than getting to a point where you do something with somebody and you regret it because they weren't as special as they should have been for that milestone, I guess, if that makes sense. That's my perspective on it. All right, let's go into a horror story. Here we go. First kiss at 24. All right, it's on the subject. I've been single my whole life and now I'm 25. Hey, me too. Cheers to that. I've been talking so fast I'm out of breath and I'm out of shape. I did just go to the gym. Uh, I was wearing a wife beater, wife pleaser, however you feel. I was practically as naked as you can get for a guy. I was wearing um, a wife pleaser and baggy pants. I did not feel comfortable in my body. I did not feel like I looked very attractive at the gym. Anyways, that's besides the point. But late last year, I met a guy and we hit it off fast. Hey, there you go. Our dates were amazing, no major red flags, and he was clear about wanting a serious relationship, which I wanted too. He was consistent, introduced me to his friends. Wow. Family. Wow. And even colleagues. Big wow. Even my friends thought we had potential. Aside from cultural differences, we seemed like a great match. Eventually, I fell for him. You better. I mean, if you guys are really hitting it off. After 3 months, I decided to initiate the what are we talk. Ooh, here we go. Starting to spice it up. And I stayed over at his place. But while waiting for him to come out of the shower, I noticed his New Year's goal on a board and saw Mary blank written on it. I couldn't process anything. Instead of confronting him, I told him something came up and I left. After agonizing days, I texted him about what I saw and then stopped. No response. He stayed active for hours, but I was officially left on red. And that was your answer. Wow. So it sounds like for those of you who are I don't reveal names on here. The person's name that sent me this email is not the Mary blank written on it. So I'm assuming this is a situation where this guy was probably cheating with the person that sent this email and they had no idea about it, which is not good. I have two stories I can tell you about that. After three agonizing days, I texted him about what I saw. He started typing and then stopped, and then this person got ghosted. Wow. And I'm struggling to move on. And the fact that he was my first everything, yeah, even kiss, isn't making it any easier. It's like I said, this this is a tough situation because like you obviously put yourself out there. You guys seemingly really hit it off to the point where you met a lot of, or he, the person you were seeing, met a lot of people that are close to you, friends, family, colleagues. I personally, I don't bring anybody around my friends. I don't bring anybody around my family. I did bring a girl around my colleagues one time, and then it didn't go anywhere, and that was like a weird conversation I had to have with my colleagues. I don't. It's for me. You have to mean a lot to me to bring you around my friends and my family, colleagues. You have to mean a lot, but not as much as my friends and my family. That's like a weird thing I've had in my past. My family not like girlfriends. I'll say that. Uh, they have not liked the women that I have brought around, and obviously it's their opinion, and it's my choice to keep dating them despite that. But that's a big deal in my world, especially my friends as well. I basically see my friends as my family. So, um, but I'll say this for this situation: I have been in your shoes twice. I um, was intimate with a girl. This happened twice now. I was intimate with a girl, and I stopped seeing her because something happened between us and I got the ick. And then 2 days after I ended things, she posted on her Instagram story something about her boyfriend. I was like, whoa. And I I asked my other friend who was a mutual friend of ours or somebody that knew her, as if they were like friends or whatever. And he was like, yeah, I don't know if there was any overlap because that's a new thing. I was like, well, was it new as of 2 days ago? So that was like a weird thing, and I didn't know. I didn't want to like ruin their thing if it was healthy and it just started right after. I don't know. It sounds like I was a part of a roster. It happens. And then the second time was with a coworker. This is why you should never talk to or date your coworkers because it could always be weird and uncomfortable. She was in a relationship, and then she told me she got out of a relationship, and then we we saw each other. We saw each other. And then 2 days after that happened, my luck with the 2 day thing. 2 days after that happened, her ex, or what I thought was her ex, came into the place that we were working at together and gave her a coffee. And I was like, hold on, hold on, wait a minute, something in the air is not right here. And that was one of those things where she was like, no, yeah, we weren't together. And I was like, I don't know if I believe that. So I have been the other man twice, seemingly. Could have been weird timing issues or just like very close timelines, but yeah, I feel you on that. It's not a great feeling. I mean, it sounds like you were ghosted, whereas in my situation, we things were ended. It was like a one-time thing essentially. But that is unfortunate. I am so sorry that you went through that. It does suck. The thing I will say is this: your first time is always the most memorable. It always is, no matter what it is for whatever it is, going on a date, first kiss, whatever. The first time is obviously the most memorable, but that doesn't mean it is the most important. Um, I think the person that you're with, the person that you like, the person that you're intimate with, is always the most important, and it's important to remember that like just because they're not your first or you're not their first doesn't mean it's not important. Doesn't mean that what you do is any less significant than the first time. It's not. That doesn't mean that who you're with now is not the right one. It means that you have the opportunity now to make them the most important. You can do more new things with them, whether it's going out and doing something different or exploring different avenues of stuff that you've never done. I think it's important to establish and maintain that like just because they're not the first or just because it's not your first doesn't mean it has to mean any less to you. That's my advice there, I guess. That was kind of like a mix of bad dating story and advice. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. That's a bummer. Here we go. Dating horror story. No thong, no prob. Here we go. All right, this one's a little long. I'll try to go fast. Kind of new to the podcast, but I thought I'd send you my dating horror story. Sweet. First week of university, I met this guy and was immediately attracted to him. Eventually, I kind of fell in love and wanted to be in a relationship with him. Hey, it happens. There was a lot of physical attraction, but he had commitment issues. Oh boy. So I settled for friends with benefits. Come on, stand up. Stand up for yourself. Although we were also kind of exclusive. All right, well, hold on. What's going on? You guys got to send me a Venn diagram of what the situation is. Are you friends with benefits? Are you exclusive? What's going on? I'll say this. Side note, any guy, and I'm saying this as a guy that has tried to pull this before, and this was, I'm not proud of this, but like any guy that's like, no, I don't want, I have a weird thing about like labels. I'd rather just be like friends, you know? I don't want to ruin anything between us. If you hear that, run. I'm telling you that as somebody that's done that before. Our intentions are nothing but horrible. Our intentions are nothing but like, I just want somebody to come back to, essentially. Like it's not good. I'm not proud of it. I have to learn and I have to be better. I When I was like that, I was a young stallion sprinting out in the fields, frolicking. I'm not proud of it, but I'm here to admit to you, and I'm here to hopefully turn you in the right direction. But yeah, anytime a guy's like, I just don't like labels, punch him in the jaw. You could literally throat chop him. Just throat chop him right in the throat. Break his Adam's apple. Maybe don't do that. Or if you do that, don't cite this as like evidence of, hey, this guy told me to do. Flick him on the ear. I don't know. Make fun of him. Find out what his trauma is, and then cyberbully him online under an anonymous account. I don't know. Just run in the opposite direction, because I promise you, there's nothing but a red flag at the end of that rainbow. All right. A year and a half. Let's get back into the story. A year and a half into our relationship, I got a booty call from him around 2 a.m. Yikes. By the way, folks, this is my refill on my left here. The camera's opposite, but this is my refill. I'm having 2 of these tonight because let's just say it was a long day. So, ooh, filled to the brim. Okay. Ooh, ooh, uh-oh. That was probably obnoxious. It almost flowed over the brim. So, Yankee with no brim. I had to drink the, sorry. Anyways, after he had gone out partying, this is our usual deal. Girl, stand up. Come on. So naturally, I crawled out of bed, called an Uber, and went to his place. Hey, we've all been there. I've done the same thing. I had a girl hit me up. I had a girl hit me up at 1:34 a.m. I was on my way over there by 1:37. You already know how it is. We started getting. Oh, okay. All right. Whoa. Okay, so this is, wow, you describing a intimate, this is like reading a 50 Shades of Grey novel. He didn't have any. I was adamant on using protection. You guys can understand, fill in the gaps there. So I said to him that I'd go get some around the corner store at 4 a.m. Wow, lots of foreplay. 2 hours of foreplay. Good on you. I knew that I knew that he would fall asleep in the meantime. So I carefully placed his phone in my hand, got dressed, and went out. Uh, oh, I placed his phone in his hand and then got dressed and went out. Okay. Thinking I would be back in a few minutes, I went out commando, aka left my thong there. Okay, so you're hanging brain, big dog. You're letting it fly. You're basically making your jeans or whatever you're wearing a charcuterie board. You're letting the meat just sit there. The meat and the cheese. It's hanging out. There's maybe a little bit of crackers, maybe some bread situation, maybe a little honey drizzle, maybe some dates, some nice grapes. You're setting up a whole charcuterie board in your whatever pants you got on there. But if wow, that was really funny. Thank you. If you've ever been to the UK, you know that nothing stays past open past 11 p.m. I've never been to the UK in it. Uh, so no protection. I walked back to his and knocked on the door. No answer. I called him 7 times. No answer. I literally threw rocks at his window. Wow, this is a real love story. No answer. Long story short, I stayed out there for a good 45, throwing rocks at his window, hoping he'd let me in. Having accepted my fate, I walked back home, having gotten no D and without my underwear. Wow. You went home empty-handed and empty pants did. Oh boy. I think it took us about a month to arrange for me to collect my thong, and I can tell you it was the most embarrassing encounter I've ever had in my entire life. Did he wash them? If he washed them, he's a good man. He probably didn't wash them. Needless to say, we kept sleeping together. Oh, okay. For another year because I was that dumb, with a smiley face. Thanks for listening. Can't wait for your thoughts. Man, what a great story. What a great love story. It's like that Taylor Swift love story. I think is literally what the song's called, where she's like on the opposite side and they're holding signs together. Except your sign would say, "Hey, can I really get my thong back?" And his doesn't say anything because he fell asleep. And you're like, "Hey, I really need my thong back." And it takes him a month to respond because he's not a good guy. Maybe you should make your own music video. That was a good story. Thank you so much. Wow. How fun. How fun. All right, we'll do one more story and then we'll go back to the advice. Hot dogs love, a socially awkward dilemma. Wow, these subject lines are incredible. Whoa, font's huge on this one. Uh, oh, this is kind of advice. I'm spending my summer in Cordoba. I don't know what the hell that is. A beautiful province in, oh, Argentina. All I had to do was read a little bit further. My dumbass. Sorry, I'm not geographically gifted. I'm not really gifted in anything. And one day, I am a munch. I'm gifted in that. And one day I went to a I went to a hot dog stand. Better have been Costco. That's when I saw him. Tall, kind eyes with an accent that makes everything sound 10 times more attractive. Oh, I ordered my hot dog, and as he handed it to me, our hands almost touched. Okay, all right. You are not in a rom com. And so I did, again and again and again. I went back more than 4 times in 2 weeks. Wow. She went back to this same hot dog stand 4 times in 2 weeks. At this point, I don't even like hot dogs that much, but here we are. One time I was there and an elderly man was struggling to carry his food. Seizing the opportunity to prove that I am in fact girlfriend material, I rushed to help him bring the hot dogs to his wife. Did he notice? Maybe. Does this guy work there? Oh, yeah, he handed the hot dog to her. Okay, so there's a hot guy that works at the hot dog stand. This girl keeps going back because she just loves the tube meat. She likes the hot dog. She likes the hot dog. And now she's trying to impress this guy by helping the elderly. Well, here's something to tell you. The elderly don't need your help. What they need is to be put down by the time they're 70. 75, because my dad's 70 and he might see this and get upset with me. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, why old people? What are you guys doing? Why are you hanging on so long, man? Is it really that fun? Random side note. No, I'm just kidding. That was super mean. I don't know why I said that. Did he notice? Did the hot dog guy notice that she just helped an elderly woman? Maybe. An elderly person. Maybe. Did he fall in love with my generosity and kind spirit? Probably not. I would say probably not. But we did make eye contact, and that's something, man. You were really grasping for straws. You're really grasping for dogs here. Maybe a little relish. Now here's the now here's the problem. I'm a fellow socially awkward person. All right, you don't need to call me out like that. I'm shy. All right, I get it. And the idea of starting a conversation with him makes my brain short circuit. Wow, this guy's sending you electric tingles. You've got the fanny flutters. So what do I do? Do I keep eating hot dogs until my stomach gives out? I don't think you should do that. I don't think your liver would appreciate that. Hopefully, hoping he'll eventually ask why I keep showing up, or do I make a move before I end up in the hospital from a hot dog overdose or cirrhosis of the liver? And if I do make a move, how? Please guide me. Love the podcast. Hope that gets you yapping more than you already do. Man, you guys love to call me out on my yapping. Man, this is quite the predicament. Here's the thing. You don't want to flash your buns. Hot dog pun number one. Start the counter. Hot dog pun number one. You don't want to flash your buns, but at the same time, you need to muster up the courage. That's hot dog pun number two. You need to muster up the courage to get up there. And you say, hey, I got a thing for you in that weenie. Hot dog pun number three. And I would love to sit down with you and really catch up on our lives. That's hot dog pun number four. Let's see if we can keep it going, folks. And, maybe we can see mayo or maybe not. Hot dog pun number five, but who puts mayo on a hot dog? That's disgusting. If we can really turn this into something special, and I can't stand hot dog stand pun number six, I can't stand to be without you any longer. No, you should walk up to him and you should say, hey, I keep coming up here because I think you're attractive. sue me. And then just say, here's my number. I work at a vintage store on Sundays, and I will admit I do get hit on every so often. I would say maybe like once or twice a month, which, it is what it is. It's very flattering. I tell people I'm sorry, thank you. I appreciate it, but I'm not, whatever I say. But the thing is like, if you even want to change, first of all, you should ask this person, whoever's working at the hot dog stand, if they have somebody else. If they have a girlfriend, if they have a boyfriend, whatever they got, whatever the situation is, you got to find that out, because you might be wasting your time here. They work at a hot dog stand. Go in with a pun. Say something. Actually, no. They probably have heard that a million times. Don't say something stupid. Don't say a pun. Just walk up to them. Say, hey, I come here all the time because I think you're really cute, not because I love hot dogs in a freakish way. And to be honest with you, I think you're attractive, and I'd love to get your number. Or I'd love to take you out to somewhere that's not a hot dog stand, because that's not very romantic. Just say that. That's all I would say. That's a fun little setting, though. Here I am picturing your guys' wedding. You guys serve hot dogs at the wedding. How fun would that be? Unlimited toppings. Unlimited toppings. Really go crazy. Relish, mustard, ketchup, maybe some onions, maybe some fried onions. Hell, even do corn dogs. Go take it up a notch. But that's exciting. Yeah, just go up to them and say, "Hey, I like you. I wanna see you. I'm gonna get you out of here. I'm gonna give you a better life than this hot dog stand." I would say that to them. That's what I would say. Hang on, I gotta move this story. Where is the hot dog one? Well, okay, all right. I will hopefully do that one. All right, let's go back to the advice. Hello, hello. Opinions on having a summer fling. They didn't make the movie Grease for nothing. All right, summer flings, we all know, could turn into something, and who knows? Maybe you'll even break into a fun little musical jam, or go to the hop, or go to the diner and have a little hopscotch, and have a milkshake. Here we are, McDonald's milkshake, horse semen. There's nothing wrong with a summer fling. I will say this: if your significant other is going on an elongated trip to, I don't know, somewhere in Europe, you're gonna get cheated on. Every time I hear a story about somebody that's like, oh yeah, this person that was dating somebody went to Europe for like a month over the summer and they got cheated on. It happens 99% of the time. If somebody's, it's like that myth, or that stereotype of like somebody going to like some resort in Mexico for spring break in college. You're gonna get cheated on. That's just like, that's what happens. Like, it's such a, that I hear about that all the time. Like, I have friends that have gone through that, where like they got cheated on because their significant other went on a fling or whatever, or went on a trip to Europe for like a month. Not to give you guys like dating anxiety, but like, it happens quite a bit. So summer fling, go for it. So long as you're not in a relationship. That's my advice. That's what I would say to you. Summer flings can be fun. I'm trying to remember if I ever had a summer fling. No, I don't think so. When I first moved here, no. Last year, no. No, I've never had a summer fling. But sounds fun. Sounds like something you should really get invested in. Uh, that's what I would say. Can be fun. It's short. It's like on Hinge. There's that one, you can like set your dating preference of whether you want like finding a soulmate or like long term. Everybody on Hinge, for some reason, anytime. So I had like a couple of no. If I saw this on a Hinge profile, I would immediately say no, no matter how attracted I was to the person. It didn't. I didn't care. I didn't care what she looked like. If she had this on her profile, I was immediately Xing back when I was on Hinge. If I saw anywhere in there that she had her Instagram handle, her Instagram tag, immediate no. Immediate no. I'm not, what are you trying to clout chase? What are you trying to gain a follower? No, that's not, I don't want that. And then if also they had in that dating setting or the preference, you could set it as long-term relationship open to short. What is a short-term relationship? A situationship? Is that another word for a situationship? Or some of them would just say short-term relate. What does that mean? Is that a fling? What does that mean? What are you looking for? That doesn't specify. What's a short-term relationship? That's nothing. That is nothing. That's, hey, take me out for a free dinner or whatever. I'm not doing that. It's all or nothing. It's nerf or nothing with this guy. All right. I go all in or nothing. That's probably why I'm such a terrible gambler. Because as soon as I get up, I'm like, all right, time to make some more money. And then I lose it all. I lose it all every single time. Terrible gambler. Terrible gambler. All right, here we go. What's up, lover boy? Sounds like that sounds like an Xbox gamer tag. Lover boy 69. I've been off the dating scene for over a year now due to crappy dating history and just genuine need for self growth. Hey, I applaud you for that. That's actually very, very smart, very uh, emotionally grown of you. It's emotionally mature of you to realize that and recognize that. That being said, I'm a hopeless romantic and thought enough time and self improvement has passed that I could step into the dating scene again. I went on my first date in a year a few days ago, and it honestly went way better than I could have expected. Hell yeah. He even reached out afterwards saying he had a good time, and we texted for a bit until I got completely ghosted. I don't mean to laugh. I only say that because it's happened to me. All right? It has happened to me, and I get it. We've all been there. It's a bummer. Also, I don't know if you can tell, I'm trying to get closer to the camera because people said I'm still too far from the camera. They can't see my beautiful green hazel eyes. I apologize. I'm trying to get closer. No explanation whatsoever. Now, I don't expect you to dissect the brain of a man you don't know. Well, here we go. But as but as someone who is also hopeless romantic, how do I avoid a complete crash out in a situation like this? Is there any hope after getting ghosted? Yeah. I've been ghosted. You think about them forever because you're like, why did they ghost me? What's wrong with me? The problem's not with you, sweetheart. The problem's with him. He's a fool. He's a jester. He's a downright fool, a dumb idiot. He's a dumb, stupid idiot. Dumb little idiot child boy. Is there any hope after getting ghosted? Absolutely. Get back on that horse. I'm trying not to internalize this and understand it's his poor communication skills. It's not just poor communication skills, it's no communication skills. He ghosted you. He's not saying anything. But all I can think about is that I must have done something bad. You didn't on that one date that he didn't even want to try for a second. I will say this. This guy sucks. Sounds like he sucks. Sounds like he's a loser. Uh, you could always, if it's gonna make you feel better, if it's gonna, because I've done this before, because I just like I can't stop internalizing stuff like this. If it helps you at all, you could always reach out to him and just be like, hey, was it something I did? Was it something I said? And if he doesn't say anything, if he continues ghosting you, it's clearly not on you. If he can't give you a specific reason why, it's not on you. All right. It's clearly an issue that he has, that he's incapable of love. He's incapable. He's hiding. He's running from something. I don't know what it is, but you could always do that if that's all you got. Like if for me, I've had it happen where like I got ghosted by a girl. This was like when I first moved to Philly, actually. I went out with a friend and we went to a bar that one of her like old high school friends was at, and I talked to her and it was great. And she was like very beautiful, and we ended up like taking a picture together that I think is out there on the internet somewhere. And I was like, hey, like I want to see you again. Like I had a great time tonight. I was a great time meeting you. I'd love to see you again. I think you're very beautiful. Uh, she sent like, yeah, for sure. And then I was like, okay, when can I see you? And then she ghosted me. Never said anything. Never anything. I texted a couple days later. Was it something I said? Is there anything I did? Again, ghosted me. Nothing. And then this son of a gun, the audacity of this woman. She reaches out after like honestly not that long ago, maybe just before the holidays, maybe November or maybe December. She reached out. She was just like, hey, I deleted her number at this point, so I didn't know who she was. She was just like, hey, is it too late to catch up or whatever? And I was just like, I don't know who this is. Sorry, I don't have your number. And she was like, wow, it's like that. I was like, yeah, I have this rule. For those of you who don't know, I have this rule. If I don't talk to you within like the last 3 months and you're not my friend, I'm gonna delete your number. You have no claim in my life. I have no business talking to you. You have no business talking to me. So I'm gonna delete your number. You're in my past and I'm gonna keep you there. Get out of my life. That's how it is. All right. If we don't have a bond, if we don't have a connection, if you're just a piece of my history or a piece of my lore, you're just I don't want to say piece because that's derogatory and sounds bad. That's not what I mean. You're not an object. If you are just, if you didn't add anything positive to my life, I don't want you in it. You know, if you're not going to contribute anything positive to my life and you're not going to be something that helps me grow, sayonara. See you later. Ciao. Sorry. And so that's essentially what I said there. I was just like, sorry, if I haven't talked to you within the last 3 months, I don't have your number. Sorry about it. If you like, who is this? You know, maybe I deleted your number prematurely or something like that. And she told me who she was, and I was just like, oh, you mean the girl that ghosted me a year and a half ago? And she was just like, well, I saw your Instagram post or whatever like that. I saw a TikTok with you in it. Ugh, don't do that. Don't clout chase off me now that you know, see that I might be doing well or something like that. I don't want that. That's disgusting. That made me feel gross. Um, and so clearly that went nowhere. But, you know, who knows? Maybe this guy's going to do that. Reach out after a couple of months, be like, sorry. I was just in a really weird headspace. I just mentally was not ready for, you know, whatever it was we were going to do. I really enjoyed our time together. But, like, just mentally, I'm not doing well. To be honest with you, I pulled that move before. It's not good. It's very douchey. And like I said, I have to continue growing and learning. I'm not perfect, but unfortunately, I have done that where I started to see a girl and it was going great, and then unfortunately, I used to do this thing where I had like a mental breakdown every time I liked somebody, and I would find every reason to get out of it because I'm like, kind of goes back to what we first talked about in this episode where I was like, they're not seeing what I'm seeing in me and they shouldn't be liking me because if they saw what I saw, they wouldn't like me. And so I'd literally have like a full-blown panic attack, mental breakdown, and then I would have to send out that text and be like, "Hey, I can't date because I'm depressed." Essentially, that's what it was. Um and so I don't know. This is a bummer for you. I'm sorry you got ghosted. Getting ghosted is never fun. Every time I get ghosted, I think about it forever. If it's gonna help you, reach out to them. Say, hey, what did I do wrong? My rosacea's really coming out now that I'm a little buzzed. If it's gonna help you, reach out to them. That's what I would say. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry that that happened to you. Here we go. Hi, hi. I'm patient about finding love. Here are my current issues. Please help. I got you, girl. Don't worry about it. I don't know where to find a good guy who is funny, kind, and doesn't feel the need to act cool slash nonchalant. Where are they all hanging out? I don't know. I don't know where to go to find a guy who is funny, kind, doesn't feel the need to act cool slash chalant. Did you try going to the not cool slash chalant store? We typically hang out. No, I honestly I don't know. I would say go to places you're not gonna if you try to go to a place where you think you're gonna find a guy like this, you're not gonna find a guy like this. Go to places that you like. Go to places that you have hobbies of. If you like reading, go to Barnes and Noble. Read a book. Sit down and read a book at a Barnes and Noble at the cafe. There's always like a Starbucks or something at a Barnes and Noble. Go to a place like that. Read a bunch. And you know, if there's a cute guy in there, walk up to him, say, "Hey, what are you reading?" Or say, you know, say something, play. I don't know, play dumb or play whatever. Just go up to him and be like, "Hey, I'm looking for a new book to read. This is what I like to read. Do you got any suggestions?" Or, "Hey, what are you reading?" "Hey, you got a girlfriend? Hey, do you want to go in the bathroom right now and make out a little bit?" These drinks are getting to me. These drinks are getting. I turn into a slut when I drink. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. On to the next one. I'm an anxious gal who threw up like a cat before my past 3 dates. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. When it's called a date, I get really anxious, so maybe I should start calling them meetings or slam a bunch of alcohol. I have done that before where I have slammed some alcohol. I've pre-gamed the date before. I literally made a TikTok about it that went viral. It's not the best idea. I will say this. If it's going to help, just remember that this date might not go anywhere. If you go in there with no expectations and you say, "You know what? I'm just going to go in there. The worst case scenario, I get a free drink, I get a free dinner, I get free lunch, free breakfast, whatever. We're just hanging out. I get 2 hours where I can spill my guts to somebody. And if you like them, maybe they'll be spilling their guts into your guts." Eventually, what I'm trying to get at is the less pressure you put on yourself going into these dates, the better it's going to be for you. I promise you, if you go in there, clear your head, however that means. If you got to meditate, meditate. If you need to watch some stupid TV show that's just going to, in mind numbing reality television, to prep yourself to just let yourself really exhale before you go on the date, do that. It's going to help you in the long term. I don't necessarily. I'm not gonna suggest that you should slam a bunch of alcohol. I don't know if that's necessarily the best idea. As somebody who typically slams out, might not be the best idea. Next one. Never been in a relationship at the age of 22. I feel behind and unprepared. You're not. You're not. There's no such thing as being too late to be in a relationship. I'll say this: if you're a man and you're like 40 and you're like, just not looking to settle down, it's time to settle down, big dog. Sorry about it. That hairline's not getting any younger. Okay, you're best served in a relationship with somebody that you love and care deeply for. You can't do friends and benefits past like 29. Sorry about it. Sorry about it. If you're 40, it might be time to settle down before your hairline decides it's time to settle down for you, okay? That's what I'll say on that situation. But 22, you got so much time. You have so much time. My I have friends that have gotten married by the time they were 24. I have friends that have never been in a relationship by the time they're 24. I have friends that are just getting into relationships now at the age of 24. It's not a rat race. There's not any point where you should feel behind until you get to like maybe 40, maybe like my parents my parents had me pretty late in the game. My parents are old, you know. They met each other relatively at an older age, or they got married at an older age. There's nothing wrong with that. Both my sisters got married by the time they were like 25, 26. I haven't been in a stable relationship in years. I don't know how to date people. Pretty soon, my niece and my nephew are going to get to the point where they're like, yo, when are you getting married? So I don't think you should feel the need to rush into a relationship. If you meet the right person, you meet the right person. But don't feel bad if you're at the age of 22. You're so young and you're experiencing life. Let yourself enjoy it. Not everybody is fit for a relationship by the time they're 20. Not everybody needs to be in a relationship by the time they're 20, and that's okay. I promise you. Don't worry about it. Go easy on yourself for that. I would like to next one. I would like to avoid vegetarians and men who believe they could climb Everest. I would die at the foot of Mount Everest. I can promise you that much. I tried to run the past couple days. Didn't go great. The thing about me, if the apocalypse happened and zombies were to come about, I probably would I'm going out very quickly. I promise you. It would get to the point where I would just kind of stop caring, and I'm like, what is this, World War Z? I'm not Brad Pitt. What am I doing? I'm not Will Smith. This is not I Am Legend. What am I fighting for? I have beef with people that are like, "Oh yeah, I can do the impossible." No, you can't. No, you can't. Brother, those ankles, those knees, you can't climb Everest. You can't make it up and down a basketball court. Vegetarians, I don't know. I've dated vegetarians before and they were great. I don't know what to tell you on that one. I might have to disagree with you on that. Very first person I've ever disagreed with on this show. And I'm disappointed. No, I'm just kidding. If you are really worried about getting into a relationship at the age of 22, go on dates until you find the right one. That's what I would suggest. Also, don't feel the need that you have to do that, though. I'm telling you, you have so much time. All right, let's keep going. We're kind of nearing the end here. I'll try and do a couple quick ones. Hey, I love your podcast. Hey, thank you so much. I do it for y'all. After a decade-long relationship, I've been single for almost a year now. Decade-long relationship. Wow, go get your husband, go get your wife. Decades long. If somebody wants to date you for longer than 4 years and they don't propose, unless it's like an interesting situation or financially doesn't work out, cut them off. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I've tried to allow myself to date with dating apps, bars, through friends, but I keep finding it extremely difficult to flirt, let alone talk to guys at all. I'm quirky and awkward, meshed in a big ball of anxiety. From a guy's perspective, any advice? Your story about going to a bar alone is on the top of my list right now. Put yourself out there. I know it sucks. When you're in a decade-long relationship, you forget what it means to date. You forget what it means to banter and flirt and all that. And I totally understand it. That's probably a very, very difficult situation to be in. And I'm sorry to poke fun at you. I do it out of place of love for you. It's dating apps. I will say this about dating apps. I don't hate all of them. Yeah, I just did a brand deal with Tinder. There's nothing wrong with Tinder, folks. Nothing wrong with Tinder at all. Tinder's great. And I'll fight anybody that says different. Dating apps are a great place to figure out, to relearn how to flirt in a capacity that you're comfortable with. I don't know if I've said this before, but like, not everybody is good at flirting. Not everybody knows how to flirt. And it might be good for you to relearn how you like to flirt, how you like people to flirt back to you, how to like banter back and forth. Because that's ultimately, banter is one of the biggest things that I look for. Banter, being able to banter with me is like my ultimate thing. Obviously, I need some physical attraction. Obviously, I need some emotional and mental attraction. But like bantering, if you can banter back and forth with me, that's the key. That's where you get, a year, 2 years into a relationship and it still feels fun and fresh because you can still go back and forth and you can still bite your tongue at each other, for to quote, do you bite your tongue at me, sir? Yeah, that's Shakespeare. Um, so that's where I would begin with dating apps. Simply, I mean, if you don't feel comfortable dating or you don't feel comfortable seeing somebody, at least relearn how to flirt. Because that ultimately, that you want to feel attractive, you want to feel beautiful, you want to feel interested in somebody, you want to feel loved by somebody. So like, learning how to flirt is probably step one. That's square one, I would say. Being a big ball of anxiety doesn't help, but it's not the end of the world. You can find somebody that makes you feel comfortable with who you are and the settings that you are in, and eventually that anxiety is going to kind of fade and bleed away. So maybe trying thinking about what you're looking for in a person, how they make you feel in a social setting, in a public setting. That could be another good step. I would say maybe start with those two. Relearn what it means to flirt, what you like, how you like to flirt, how you like to be flirted with, and then figure out how you like to be treated in social settings in a way that's going to reduce that anxiety that you have, because ultimately that's going to lead you to feeling more comfortable around somebody, more comfortable in the setting that you're in. That's what I would say. If I can be honest with you, dude. If I can be honest, my little Delco accent coming out now that I'm friggin' had a couple drinks in me. Let's do one more, and then we'll call it. One more, and then we'll call it quits. One more dating advice. All right, hang on. Here we go. Why do you always think you're ugly? Okay. when you when you are extremely attractive, who hurt you, and could we get a name and an address? Nobody hurt me. It's it stems from a long line of just always. I don't have trauma per se. I just have a long history of being told that I have to look differently. I was very When I was a kid, I was very underweight. I played football my entire life. I was always barely cutting it in terms of like, you had to be a minimum amount of weight, and I was always barely cutting it. And in high school, I just never gained weight. I would eat a little bit, and in high school, I would drink an 1,800 calorie milkshake, protein shake, weight gain shake is what I would call them, every single night before I went to bed. 1,800 calories. And I would not gain weight. And it pissed me off because I would work out. I'd be scrawny, a scrawny little kid. And it wasn't until college when I finally like had a growth spurt and started getting like built out with muscle and stuff. And when I was in college, I was like kind of jacked in the sense that like you can find pictures of me out there on the internet without my shirt on, and you can see I was like skinny muscular is what I would call it. And now that my metabolism is slowing down a little bit, I'm no longer skinny jacked. I am now filling out a dad bod. That's what I'll call it. But when I was a kid, yeah, I just never felt comfortable in my body because I was always told I was underweight. I was always told that I was not. I was skinny. I was scrawny. I was never going to. I was always at risk of getting hurt because of the way I looked. Um, and then that being backed with, you know, self-conscious mental health issues where, I just never liked the way I look. And then eventually it stemmed into I would hyperanalyze, and this is something that I attribute to my own personal narcissism, where I hyperanalyze everything about my body, everything about my face, because I'm what I feel is though self-obsessed, because I'm constantly picking out bad things about myself. So I'm still thinking about myself, which is narcissism, but I'm picking out the bad things is kind of what I attribute it to. So it's not necessarily it's self-inflicted at this point. No longer, I don't have people telling me that I'm underweight. I don't have people telling me that like I need to work on this and this. My comment sections on social medias that I have are very I can read them and I can see that people feel generally a certain way about me, and I appreciate that, but I don't necessarily see that and reflect that in my own life with like the way I see myself. Uh, I pick out a lot of the bad that I have. I see that I've got a lot of gray hairs. I mean, I guess I'm kind of balding here. Not really sure. I might get picked apart about that in the YouTube comment section. I still have acne. Um, my teeth aren't great. I don't look good with facial hair. I'm still what I would like to call filling out a dad bod, but somehow still scrawny, which is like a scientific miracle, I guess I would say. Um, it's just weird. It's weird when I have this self-deprecating sense of humor that I've built a platform on, and then at the same time, I try and tell myself that like, hey, the way you look is okay, but getting myself to believe that is it's my own personal Everest. That's called a flash. That's called a callback joke, folks. So I appreciate it. It's just this weird thing that I have to get through where, um, you know, it's tough. It's tough feeling the way I feel about the way I look, but at the same time, like I would prefer to feel this way about myself rather than being self-indulgent, being like, "Oh, I'm the hottest thing that walks the earth." I'd rather be a little like, "You don't look great today," or "Man, your lips look a little thin today," or "Wow, your nose is a little obnoxiously large," or "Those eye bags are a bit darker and puffier than I remember," than being like, "Man, I'm a hot shit. I look great." So maybe it also comes from a place like that where I would feel rather a bit more humble about the way I look than self-indulgent. So good question. Not trauma. I just have always been told that I was small, too small for my own good. So hour and 3 minutes, folks. And now the end is near. Another successful Sips and Situationships. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, if you want dating advice or breakup advice or any sort of advice in general when it comes to dating, meeting people, seeing people, intimacy issues, wanting to get intimate, feel free to reach out to happierpod@gmail.com if you have bad dating stories that you want me to go over. Email happierpod@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening. I love you all so much. Hey, if you had 23 bad hours today, I hope the hour that you spent with me is a happier hour. I love you all so much. Good night.